Alright, so I did the test fit of the wing that came. As you can probably see, the old wing's sitting on the car, so that kind of tells you a story. um, Basically, like, the holes are just not in the right place. There's and when I put the wing on, you know, like at the bottom here, it's like almost overlapping the sill, and then I've not really got the panel gap that I should have, you know, going up the sill along the door line. So just basically comparing it with the other side, it's like a pretty consistent sort of, you know, pinky gap all the way down up until the bottom, and then it's a little bit tighter, but the replacement wing's just, you know, it's hard up against the sill, almost overlapping. And then the hole at the front as well, where it bolts on the front, is like miles away from where it should be. So there would be the option of obviously, you know, modifying the, you know, the wing, the replacement wing, you know, just, you know, I mean, by basically cutting holes so that things can be moved over. But I think that could end up being a pretty big headache. This wing isn't actually too bad at all. It's just really, I don't know if you can see, but down in the bottom corner there, where it's kind of worse. So there's definitely no point in putting a wing on that isn't going to be a good fit. So basically that boils down to some more cutting and welding. But that's fine. I'd rather do that and have it right than, you know, go and paint a wing and, you know, then come to like final fit and it just doesn't fit and looks stupid, because then it's kind of back to square one on that. So so yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to do on this side anyway. So gonna have a quick break, get a coffee, and then I'm going to come back out and I'm going to bolt this wing back on properly again, just check the alignment, close the bonnet, make sure it's all okay. And then what I'm going to do is just what I've been doing on the back. So basically I'll cut most of this wing apart, and then what I'll do is basically like I'll cut enough material away. Sorry if I show you, cut enough material away so that I can overlap what I want to use on this, and then basically just clamp the new panel over the old one, and then cut through them both together, which means that you've got pretty close to what you need. So that's worked fine doing the other panels. So I'm just going to do the same. So, but it won't take too long. It won't take too long to do that. I've done quite a lot of welding on this car, so I'm getting a bit faster and neater. Obviously it all looks the same once it's ground down, or similar, but yeah, if I'm able to do it more quickly and you know, to a better standard or as good a standard, then that's cool. So I'll quit waffling, go and have a quick break, and then get the swing back on properly, and then start cutting. And I'll probably do the cutting on both sides first, because it's nearly 8, so I don't like to make too much noise after 9. So if I do the cutting of both of them, then I can you know, I can maybe get them welded on tonight, and I'll be back where I thought I was tonight, which is getting on to filling to get it painted. So okie doke, we're getting there. Okay, so I finished welding, cutting out and welding the wing on the other side, and I've cut out this one. It's probably the first boo-boo I've made in the way of not cutting quite enough out. I probably should be marking the panels, but I've just been free cutting, and that's worked out okay so far. But yeah, so it basically just means I need to cut a couple of little more sections out, just to make sure that all the rust is out, because obviously if I don't cut it out, it'll just spread and onto the new panels as well. So that's not what we want. I'll give you a quick look and let you see how this is just now, and maybe the other side as well. And then I'm just going to get cracked on with cutting these other wee bits out, making sure it's properly aligned, and then welding in the new sections. So I'm looking forward to getting this done. As I said, I'd hoped not to have to cut and weld this, but it's definitely better to do that than to have like really badly fitting wings. It would just look like it's been crashed, which this car hasn't. So I would say that all the panels on the car are original, so that's quite good. All right, so I'll let you have a look and see how it is just now, and then we'll get cracked on. And as soon as this is finished, I can get on to maybe a tiny bit more grinding, but most of it should be okay. I can get on to putting the filler on, then sanding it down. So we're getting closer to being ready to paint it, which is great, because once it's painted, I just need to build it back up again. I think I'm probably going to rob the back window out of the red one just now, because I'm struggling to find a window or a tailgate nearby. There's like 3 down south just now, but none of them are willing to ship them, which I can understand. But it gets this one finished. I shouldn't have ripped out the window seals for the driver and passenger side windows in the front, because apparently you can't get them anymore. I just kind of assumed that because I saw like loads of seals listed, you'd be able to get all of them, but no. So I think, well, there's a guy that's maybe tracked down a couple for me, but if they don't materialize by the time I'm building it back up, I think I'm just going to rob the ones off the red one just now. The red one's kind of getting treated like a parts car at the minute, but it's already been treated like that because there's bits missing. But yeah, better just to get this one finished and back on the road, because I don't actually have anything to drive just now. So yeah, I've cut this side out. There's a wee bit of corrosion still, where's my finger, still there, so I'm going to cut that out. And there's a wee bit up here as well, I just didn't take it far enough, so I'm going to need to like cut this kind of triangle out, and weld a bit in there, and that's the other side. It was quite late when I was finishing it, so I've not ground down the welds yet, so it'll look a lot nicer once I've done that. But that's that side on, so getting a little bit more handy at doing it now. So I guess it's a good way to learn. The welds are getting a bit neater as well, so yeah, I'll grind it down and that should look fine. Okay, no time for any more chatting. I'll go and get cracked on. Really want to get the welding totally finished today, and it'd be great to go on to filling as well, because there shouldn't be that much to do. Just need to basically kind of mask off the line of where the arch goes into the wing, and then basically fill down to here and have this taped off, and then just put a wee, I might not need to put filler in that, I'll have a look at the shape of it. But yeah, on some of them I'll need to mask off here and then just put a wee line of filler around there, just to make sure that the lines are perfect, or you know, perfect as far as the eye can see. Okay, I'll get cracked on. Hey, I thought I'd just give you an update after some more time lapse. Didn't think I was ever going to get finished with the welding, to be honest. I think I mentioned in the last video that the wings really weren't a good fit, so I had to just cut them out. You might have seen in the time lapse, it was an absolute mission to get it perfect. They just really weren't a good fit at all. I had the same problem on both sides, so it was lined up perfectly at one end, but then it was like sitting far too far down and overlapping on the sill, so had to do some cutting and grinding, and spent ages just to get them lined up properly, because again, you're not going to be able to see them, but I still want to do as good a job as I can. So yeah, I just did a little bit of grinding this morning just to finish off, and then I just started filling. So I filled an arch and a sill, and I'd already kind of started filling the other arch, if you remember, and I could not find either of my sanding blocks anywhere. So as you probably saw in the time lapse, I just gave the garage another tidy. When it gets to the point where I can't find a few things I normally tidy it, probably really annoys people that like things to be perfectly tidy all the time, seeing the mess that I sometimes work in. But I think it would be easier if I had a lot more space, to be honest, but or if I just didn't throw things about when I'm done with them. I just want to get cracked on and very focused on what I'm doing. So anyway, I'll let you have a look at how it's looking just now, and then I'm basically just going to continue with the filling. So I'll sand down the rear arch that I've already done, and that'll need another light skim over all of it, just with a kind of finer filler. Then I need to go around, do the bits at the back, and just work my way around and do the rest of the car. There's a little bits, if you remember, the little bits higher up on the car as well, like where the rear window, one of the rear windows is, and the little bit on the windscreen, and a little bit on the roof, and whatever else I'm forgetting. That little bit on the door that I can see behind the camera. So basically, I would love to get the filling done today. It filled and sanded. Whether that's going to be achievable or not, I don't really know, because I want it all to be the right shape, and I haven't really done anything to this degree before. When I painted the first car that I painted, I did a very little bit of filling on that, and I've since found out that I used the wrong filler, which was why it was really hard to get a nice smooth finish. It was kind of a far too deep filler, so this time I've used a much milder one. But yeah, I'm not really sure how long it'll take to get this all sanded so that it's a nice shape, the correct shape with the right lines and everything. So it might not take that long, or it might take another week. This is obviously most of the week again with cutting and welding, so that was basically like nearly 2 weeks, not full days, but I've been out here every day working on it, doing welding and stuff for a couple of weeks. So yeah, if the filling did manage to get finished today, if I'd managed to finish it today and it was a really good standard and I was happy with it and it was all sanded nice, then that would be awesome. I don't think I would paint tomorrow. I think probably what I would do is, I mean, I've tidied the garage, but before I paint, you know, I really need to spend a day. It sounds probably a bit dramatic or over the top, but I really need to spend a day cleaning the garage. The downside, as I've maybe said before, of doing everything in one area is that, you know, I mean, if you imagine all the dirt that's up inside your arches and sills and things like that. It just ends up all over the floor, and then obviously there's dust from sanding and stuff as well, so not really the kind of environment that you want to be painting in. So what I'll do is basically give it another really good tidy, sweep the floor out, probably maybe even on my hands and knees, degreasing the floor. I've done that before, and then basically I'll have the airline on and have the big extractor fan on that you can see up behind me, and yeah, I'll just be blowing dust away from everywhere I can, and it'll get sucked out there. And then once I've done that, then I'll need to go around and just like clean all the surfaces. So there's quite a lot of stuff in here, so just clean basically everything. Just try and get it as, I mean, you're not going to get it clinical, but really try and get it very, very, very clean, and then I've got the best chance of not getting rubbish in the paint. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do, because you can sand it out, but it kind of depends on if you get enough of a problem in the lacquer, then it can be a redo. So anyway, I'll stop waffling. I'll give you a quick look at how it's looking just now. I'm going to go for a quick break, have a coffee. That was quite a workout tidying the garage. So yeah, I'll let you have a look, go and have a break, then come back out, get cracking again, and it'll be awesome to have it ready for paint. Getting to paint is a treat, not a hassle. After all the prep work I've done, sometimes it feels like a hassle painting, but you have to do a lot of really good prep work to get a good result when you paint it. So painting it's the easy bit, really, and then obviously there's a lot of sanding after I paint it and polishing, but again, sometimes that feels like a bit of a chore, but I think compared to all the cutting and welding and stuff I've had to do, blown away, it should feel should feel quite good. So all right, stop waffling and let you have a quick look. Being really lazy and just showing you it from where I was already sitting. So I've put plenty of filler on there. I don't know if you could see in the time lapse when I was mixing it up, but I've really put it on, plenty on it, because it's easy, it's relatively easy to sand it off, but it's good. It takes more time to have to put more on, wait for it to dry. So I've basically just kind of slapped it on nice and thick, and that was the one obviously I'd done before, so I'll sand that down, then I'll mask off the lines properly and start filling that with the lighter filler. Obviously you can see the black edge of that arch, so there's tape above it, as you can see. So basically once I've kind of sanded the top, then what I can do is mask the top, and then that will hopefully allow me to get the line around the edge of the arch there, and that should be fine. I won't bother filling underneath it obviously, but there was a lot of hammering and bending and tweaking to get that into the right shape, so there's probably some little dents on the outer bit as well. The inside I'll just scuff that up and that'll get primed. Obviously the inside I've got acid etch primer there as well to make sure that doesn't corrode, and once the thing's all painted and dry, I'll also put some wax seal in there as well, and I'm going to put some down the inside, between the rear arch and the inner arch, so because obviously that's where the corrosion comes from. Okay, time for a break, and then we'll get cracked on and see how much more we can get done. Hopefully as I say, hopefully get it all done today, but who knows, it might take another week. Just see how easy it is to get it into the shape it needs to be in. So fingers crossed.